up, guys? I'm Kristin.
And I'm Kaylynn.
And this is our top 5 favorite scariest movies
for SHOCKTOBER! Cue the screams. Starting off with our number 5 pick, we chose Scream. And if you haven't seen that movie yet, we don't know what you're doing with your life.
Scream follows a small-town girl, Sydney Prescott, and the serial killings that start on the 1-year anniversary of her mother's murder. This film was the standard for horror at the time of its release, and it was the first movie for us that kind of got us into wanting to watch horror films.
From, the very first scene with Drew Barrymore, and the whole phone, what's your favorite scary movie? It was creepy, and then her gruesome murder, you're just like, what is going on? We need to finish watching this movie, because we gotta find out who this guy in the freaky mask is.
Throughout the whole film, you're kind of going back and forth on who the murderer could be. There's different people, there's different motives. Every time you think that you know who the murderer is, then they turn up dead in the next scene.
And you're just like, great.
Yeah, so now I have no idea who this murderer is. The entire film, you think it's her boyfriend, then they go through other times where you don't think it's him, that a murder's happened and he was there, and so it couldn't possibly be him. And then again in the film, you're like, wait, it could be him. He's kind of creepy. He looks like a serial killer.
Just look at him. That hair.
And the way that they film it, it's so just everybody pops out. It was just shocking every single time that something happened. You're constantly trying to figure out who it is. You don't know the boyfriend, the dad who's constantly missing from the film.
Where is he?
Next up on number 4 is Dawn of the Dead.
Because what's a horror top list without a zombie movie? We think this is the zombie movie of all zombie movies ever.
When we think zombies, we think Dawn of the Dead. As we know, this movie is basically like every other zombie movie, zombie apocalypse. People are trying to get away, people are trying to protect themselves, take refuge. In this particular story, they take refuge in a mall with a small group of people and then are trying to ward off all the zombies from getting in. Top 5 reasons we picked this movie are, number 1,
it takes place in a mall, shopping, hello.
Number 2,
blood and guts.
Number 3,
zombie bus with a chainsaw.
Number 4,
the Phil from Modern Family, who also looks like Dracula, right? Am I right?
Number 5,
the best thing ever,
a zombie baby.
For our number 3 pick, we chose The Conjuring, which is one of the most scariest movies that I've ever seen in my entire life. I watched in the theater, I was like this. So basically, the whole story is this family moves in to a house that just looks freaky. Like, that's your first mistake. You moved into a house that looked haunted. Basically, paranormal stuff starts happening. The family calls for help. Help comes. They try to get rid of the creepy. There's possession. There's exorcism. It's just great.
The reason that this movie made number 3 was because of the incredible plotline.
Like, normally when you're in a scary movie, you're just kind of like, oh, come on, story. Let's just get to the scariness. This movie just kind of kept us on edge the entire time. It was just really well told, and it kept it really interesting.
Number 2 on our list is The Strangers. The story follows a couple that arrives at a family vacation home after attending a friend's wedding, where they are met by masked strangers.
Hence the name, Strangers.
Who turn their quiet getaway into a horrific nightmare. The reason we chose this movie for our second pick was because this kind of sheds some light on the fact that people actually do this, that they could take the time and actually have the ability to do this type of torture to someone else.
Like, they sit there and think out this type of stuff, and you're just like, people are crazy.
That this scenario could actually go down, makes you terrified to even be at home by yourself anymore, to answer your door. It's just, it kind of, with these things that are kind of based on true stories, it kind of gets us where we're like, oh my gosh, someone's gonna come home and murder me.
Yeah, like, I could never stab anyone.
I could really stab a Capri Sun.
And now,
for our number one pick,
The
Exorcist.
Now, I'm sure everyone's familiar with this story about a young girl who goes through a demonic possession in the attempts made by her mother and the help of 2 priests to bring her back.
Let's just say the first time that we watched this movie was also the last time that we watched this movie. Not only is this movie terrifying, but it's also deeply disturbing.
To see a 12-year-old girl go from this sweet and innocent demeanor to a horrible, self-mutilating monster is something that we will never forget. It was kind of hard to forget because every time you go on YouTube and you see one of those like scary videos of a rocking chair, and then all of a sudden, her face. You're never gonna forget.
It scared the crap out of me. Good. Once again, I'm Kristin.
And I'm Kaylynn, and we hope you like this video of our top 5 scariest movies of all time. Be sure to tell us your list in the comments below. If you like this video, give us a thumbs up, and if you haven't, subscribe.
Remember to like us on Facebook, follow us on Instagram and Twitter. If you have any content requests, email us at rumblepackteam@gmail.com. Remember, you can always find any of our content at rumblepackgaming.com. Once again, thanks for watching.
Okay. Woo!